You're just moments away from a brand new episode of WTF Nations Radio's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by the dynamic duo CQ and Radar. Pop Culture Warrior is your number one source for all things entertainment. If it's happening in TV, movies, video games, or comedy, they're all over it. And don't forget to say hi in the comments below. And while you're at it, let the boys know what you think and what you'd like to hear them talk about. Now strap in and get comfortable, because you're in for one hell of a ride. This is Pop Culture Warrior. Shots.
Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Welcome, one and all. Today is April the 20th, 2021. This is episode 53 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ. I'm your pop culture illustrator. And with me, as always, is the man that brings life to the page. You know, he's the man in the bubble. He's the voice of the unpop cultured. Everybody give a loud shout out to Mr. Radar!
What's up? What's up?
What's up,
Fuck
buddy?
yeah.
Who is ready? Let's go. You psyched?
Fuck yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I was just texting.
Texting the people, man.
He has to go do his softball game, man.
Oh man,
It's fucking snowing here, dude.
We miss you, buddy.
Go do some fucking.
We'll miss you.
Shit.
We'll drink one for you, bud. Drink one for you.
Fuck yeah, we will.
Shout out to all the people already online, man. What's up? We got what? 70 people already checking us out, man. Oh, God bless you guys.
Yeah,
I see you. Nicole, Steven, Captain Wayne, who else? Heath, man, Scott. What is up, guys? What is up? How y'all doing? I see you, Joe. What's going on, Joe? We are, oh man, excited. Super quick. We're so close to our goal for the Facebook page of 750 people following the page. Pop Culture Warrior on Facebook. As soon as we hit 750, we're at 718, something like that. As soon as we hit 750, big old box going out to one lucky winner. All you got to do is like the page, and you're automatically entered. We'll do a live raffle to see who wins the fabulous prize. I always like to do. I was thinking of doing like one big box for whoever likes the, whoever gets the win, and then doing like a follow up of like whoever's on live for that show can win like a smaller thing. So just as, as a thank you for tuning in live. But
Are you talking about the 750th like, the person who likes us the 750th?
No, like when we hit 750, we do a random giveaway. We do a
Oh, okay.
random of all the people that like the page. Trust me, it's a ton of work for me because I have to get all the names and put them in this giant ass randomizer.
Select all, dude.
It's-
Select all, copy and paste that. Bitch. I
obviously,
don't
if
know
it were
you know
that,
anything about computers,
if
but
it were that easy, I would. If it were that easy. So anyway, so guys, if you haven't liked the page already, Facebook Pop Culture Warrior, like it so you can be notified and you can win a prize. And it's, I mean, I've posted pictures of the last couple prizes that people won, and no one's ever come away disappointed, right? Autographed memorabilia, original artwork, bunch of just nonsense that I've collected over the years, and still brand new. But yeah, so enough about that. I got to give a shout out real quick, bro. I don't know if you saw this on the page or not. We had our first like user submitted I don't know what you call it, like a thing that a fan sent to us to check out.
like fan art or something.
Well, it's kind of like fan art. Remember last week, I was goofing off. I was playing the Mortal Kombat theme. I was doing my Zemo dance, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, someone did this, and I'm gonna have to borrow your bubble. Can I borrow your bubble for a second? You mind?
I guess.
Yeah, so there you go. That was sent in by the awesome Gerardo Ranger. As he goes, he sent that in, and he said, "Hey man, I had a blast watching the show. Your dance moves gave me a bit of inspiration," and so he came up with it. Bro, I opened that. I was dying. So, oh my god, it was hilarious. So kudos to Gerardo. Or no, maybe it's Geardo Ranger. Jesus, am I saying Gerardo? What kind of loser am I? I think it's Geardo Ranger. Like, like weirdo, Geardo. Anyway, I'm gonna assume that's what it is. But it was awesome. God bless you, son. That was the highlight of my week, by the way. Getting that getting that. Yes, Mike, I see you. I look so cool with hair. Ha 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 ha. Okay, moving on. Something too I wanna share with you guys. Obviously, I hate to overpromise and underdeliver. I would never do that to you guys. But big things are coming. We've got some massive, epic things on the way. Stay tuned over the next couple weeks, over the next couple months. I mean, massive. Not to mention, as this pandemic stuff is starting to wind down, right? It's funny. We had this conversation once, right? That I said, okay, now that all these celebs are sitting at home, we should be able to get anybody for an interview, right? They're not working. They're just sitting at home. They should easily come on and interview. It has been impossible to touch anybody. This whole thing flipped everything upside down. Nothing was normal. It's been impossible to get a hold of anybody. But finally, I'm starting to get back responses, and we've got some really cool people lined up in store. I won't talk about the future. I won't talk about what's not locked in yet, but I can give you a taste of the next couple weeks. So like next week, we've got Eddie McClintock. Oh my God, I'm terrible.
McClintock?
Yeah, McClintock. I'm terrible with names. But he's an actor who's been on like Supergirl, Warehouse 13, Bones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like he's been on a bunch of stuff. The week after that, we've got I think that's May 11th. We've got May 4th. May 4th. Oh, this is a good one. Colin Mockery. Whose line is it anyway? The improviser maestro of all. Like the dude is freaking hilarious.
Dude, he's so funny.
He is so funny. He's gonna be blessing our airwaves May 4th.
I don't even know. I think I should even abstain from that show because I don't even want to embarrass myself. He's a fucking legend, dude.
He's a legend.
There are some people you see them and see their work and you just know that it's going to be good.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I almost don't feel like I should be part of that because it's going to be way too good for me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They were like, what the fuck is Radar doing there? He's slowing him down.
Nicole says he is a big deal and the funniest bald guy. Yeah, besides us. Besides me and this dude, maybe. Maybe. I give him a close third, maybe. But no, he's awesome. Yes, and that is Star Wars Day. That's right, Scott. May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. We got Colin Mockery. May 11th. I'm another guy I'm hugely excited to talk to. Have you ever heard of the show How I Met Your Mother? I mean, come on.
I think I've heard something about it.
Haven't we all heard of it?
Maybe once.
So we've got the creator of the show, Carter Bays, the guy that wrote, produced, and was executive and did all of it, brought the show to life. He's an incredibly awesome dude. Me and him have sat down and talked before. I cannot wait to bring that to you guys. We'll talk about How I Met Your Mother. We'll talk about the industry. We'll talk about, writing. We'll talk about everything. It's going to be such a cool interview. So that's May 11th. And like I said, oh my God, do I even spoil the other one? The other one we have locked in is oh my God, you guys, Napoleon Dynamite. Who doesn't remember Napoleon Dynamite, right? No. We've got the actor that played Pedro, Efren Ramirez, coming on the show very soon. I believe we locked his date. I think it's May 26th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so we got Pedro. Vote Pedro is going to be.
Vote for him anyway.
You did it. You voted Pedro. He's coming on the show end of May. And let me tell you, this is the tip of the iceberg. The people that we are in contact with and are communicating with and are locking in. Now, let me say, as always, these, things change. People's shooting schedules change. People lose availability. Two of the people that we're talking to are currently in production and on Netflix stuff. So they're like, look, we're trying to get the date right, but, our schedules kind of shift left and right. So we'll do the best we can. So, I don't want to do it to you guys where I overpromise something and underdeliver. Never.
Last time I did that, I got married. She still regrets it.
Last time I did that, I ended up with a kid.
I overpromise and underdeliver every day. Well, I'm like, okay, so I've been homesick with the Rona, right? I go back to work.
You got the Ronas.
Yeah. And I'm still kind of struggling a little bit. Like I guess I don't know who out there has had it and who hasn't. Mm-hmm. And I know there's different severities of it, but it still feels to me like, I don't know if anybody's ever flown to like Carson or something, or somewhere like high altitude, like when you get off the plane and then you just can't fucking, you can't catch your breath. That's how I've been feeling a lot the last week or so. Right. Mm-hmm. And my wife is back to work. We were all fucking quarantined and stuff, and the kids are back to school, and I just got a couple more days of my 2 weeks off work to catch up. And so yesterday she's like, I did the dishes and I got all kinds of shit done and blah 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 blah. She's like, oh my God, you're the best house husband ever. And today I didn't do dick. She gave me, it was just like dirty laundry still and dirty dishes, and I put dinner in the crock pot, and she's like, oh my God, you're horrible at this. And I'm like, well, I'll trade you. I'll just go back to work tomorrow and we'll get done. So
otherwise you're doing good though?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I mean, except for the whole not breathing thing, but
it's overrated. It is overrated. Full lungs full of air. No, that's overrated. Yeah. So obviously, the question, what do you think of the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I think it was good. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say a couple things good and bad.
Okay.
We'll do pros and cons to it.
Pros and cons. Here we go.
I think it was good to kind of get some character development in some of those people. Right. And it introduced a new character, which I don't know. Should we be excited about that?
I think we should.
About Val?
I think we should.
Because she's kind of in the comics has a couple different roles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Which role do you think she's going to take on this
one? So you have to piece a couple things together to really understand that. So for those that let me specify for those what Radar has so masterfully alluded to, beat it around the bush. We got to see the big cameo appearance that they've been talking about for a while was Julia Louis-Dreyfus, also known as Elaine from Seinfeld, who's playing Contesta Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. That's a mouthful, or just call her Val. So here's the thing. In the comic books, that character started out as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and was like right up there with Nick Fury. Then jumped sides and became Madam Hydra, the leader of Hydra. But then turned out to be a triple agent, and she was actually working for an organization called Leviathan, which was the Soviet Union's kind of rival to S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and the Hand and things like that. So, based on that information, and based on another clue, which is apparently she was supposed to make her big screen debut in Black Widow. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is actually supposed to be in Black Widow, which leads me to believe there's the whole Soviet Union connection, there's the whole Russian connection, so maybe she's representing Leviathan. Maybe Leviathan is going to make its MCU debut, because based on how she was talking to him, I don't think she's S.H.I.E.L.D. Based on kind of where we are with things, I don't think she's Hydra. But right. I could very much see her being tied into the whole Black Widow movie, which was supposed to be out before Winter Soldier and Falcon. So that could have established her character, and then it would have been like, whoa, mic drops. Here she is. She shows up at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So now it's kind of reversed, where she shows up here, and then when eventually we see Black Widow, we'll be like, oh shit, there she is again. You know, so which also tells me that, you know, she's gonna play modern day character that, you know, because they're kind of jumping time and through things and whatever. But yeah, so I think, to answer your question, I think we're not going to be certain for a while to her true intentions.
Makes sense.
I think she's going to be one of those characters where you're like, is she good? Is she bad? Kind of like what Sharon Carter is right now, where we're kind of not sure, is she good or is she bad? I kind of have a clue I can share with you if you'd like.
Well, because see, here's my... Okay. Yeah, I've kind of speculated since the beginning that there might be a Hydra connection in here somewhere. Hydra, or like a incarnation of them, for a couple reasons. I mean, it's not uncommon for, you know, the Captain America story to kind of fight with Hydra, right? And the super soldier serum and all the other things and blah 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 blah, right? Now you've got somebody coming in who in the comics is known as Madam Hydra.
Yes.
So kind of, I don't know, again, in my mind, somebody, you know, kind of tying things together to have some sort of Hydra-like connection to this.
Yeah. You keep wanting to tie it back to Hydra and mutants every time. Every time.
Yeah.
It's all I know. It's all I know.
I've really mad you for it really because they couldn't fucking come on.
They wanted to.
You know that shit's coming, dude.
Which, by the way, I just pulled up a picture so people can see. And a clever little thing is, obviously she has the stripe of white hair. It's really hard to tell, but if you lighten the image a lot, Julia actually has a strip of blue, the streak of blue hair in there instead of white. So I'm assuming they're like, you know, we don't want to do the white hair because it makes you look old. So they went with like a much more fashion forward. She's got a stripe of blue hair in her do. But
also going back to this Leviathan thing, right? We're pretty much past the Soviet Union in real life and in timeline of this.
Sure.
Right. And you can't really take Captain America, quote unquote Captain America, or US agent or whatever fucking mantra he's going to take on here shortly. And turn him into like Captain Leviathan. You know what I mean?
Right. But remember, think about what we've already seen in the trailers for Black Widow. Remember, we see, what's his name? The dude from Stranger Things, David, whatever his name is. He suits up as the Guardian, the Red Guardian, which is the Soviet Union version of Captain America. You know what I mean? That's their Star-Spangled Man, so to speak. And Nicole, I see you. Yes, jump to Avengers and X-Men already. I don't want to wait 20 years. That's understand. Right. I agree. I agree. But they're laying the foundation. They're building.
They're no longer laying the foundation. They are teasing
it.
They are bringing in the mutant
Listen,
characters to fill it.
one
That was just a
thing
sick dick joke.
at
This was
a
a
time.
dick joke in fucking WandaVision. Oh, his name is Richard Head or whatever the fuck that. It's just a dick joke, right? And in this one, right, the alleged city that Wolverine fucking hides out in, they're in, right?
Yes.
They're just didn't have to do that. They didn't have to.
It's going to come to fruition. Don't let them. They're doing a great job.
Don't want to wait 20 years for this shit.
I understand. I appreciate that. I do. But they're also doing a great job. Right now they're laying the foundation for Young Avengers. We've seen it. We've seen Wanda's kids. We've seen the young what's his name? Eli Bradley, who becomes Patriot. There's talks of Iron Patriot, another Young Avenger. Like it's coming. It's happening. We know Kate Bishop is in the Hawkeye series. Like it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. One thing at a time. They're laying the foundation for the Young Avengers. We're definitely going to get to mutants eventually and X-Men eventually. We've got time. We've got time.
We're going to ride these storylines until 3021.
Damn.
Years later,
damn straight. Listen, we're not doing some DC nonsense over here where we're just jumping. We're just busting at the nut to get to the. You know what I mean? Like skip the little stuff to jump straight to the big stuff. Let's build to it. So otherwise, so here's my theory. I do want to share a theory with you. I am starting to suspect that Sharon Carter is up to no good. Now, it's kind of laid out there, but why? Why do I suspect that? One simple thing. It's an insider movie secret. I'm going to share it with you guys.
Okay.
In movies, in TVs, villains cannot use Apple products. It's a hard, fast rule. It's a secret of Hollywood. Any movie, prove me wrong. Never will you see a villain, even an anti-hero, a vigilante even, using an iPhone product, whereas heroes will commonly use Apple products. And so the fact that they've showed their phone a few times and it's never been an iPhone leads me to suspect there's a higher than not likelihood chance that Sharon Carter either is the power broker or is working directly for the power broker. And at this point, and we remember we talked about this in WandaVision, where we got to episode 5 and we're like, well, are they going to pull the Mephisto card? Like, is it going to happen? And I said the same thing I said then. It's too late in the game to introduce a whole new character. You can't do it. It had to be tying up what the last episode has to tie up what we've already gone over. So at this point, it leads me to believe we know who the power broker is, or we've seen the power broker, and she might be it. I mean, I hate to say it, but she might be it. So,
well, I mean, she doesn't. The power broker doesn't ever have to be really. Doesn't have to be like ousted, right? It shouldn't have to be. But also, like, she could be very much like working for them. I'm not saying she's not the power broker,
right?
Because it just kind of seems like that's too obvious a choice at this point.
It's too obvious.
You know what I mean? And of all of the things, I don't think they've gotten that lazy.
Yeah. And Jim, I see you there, but I see he makes a good point. All villains have windows in almost every room. That's true. I think we're gonna put our tinfoil hats and we're gonna bust this thing wide open. I agree. Movie magic is the real sorcery. Did
you see the fan favorite now?
Which one?
The fan theory from Nicole that they are going to keep running around till they loop around and link them to Star Wars, since Disney owns both of them.
I like that we lead to a place. I mean, Oh boy.
Falcon, the Winter Soldier, and Baby Yoda. Like that'd be fucking awesome, dude. Maybe that's the next
Oh
season.
God.
Listen,
We're not here. We're not here for your fanfic. All right.
Come on, it'd be so fun. Think of the opportunities for that though.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, you know what? I didn't even dude, we jumped straight into the show. I didn't even mention who we have coming on tonight. A good friend of mine.
We said a minute ago.
We did not say who was coming on tonight.
Yeah, we did. Mark Baker's coming on.
Well, obviously we know Mark Baker is, but they don't know Mark Baker's coming in.
You said it for like a minute. I'm pretty sure when we first came on, you're like, Mark Baker's on tonight. We're gonna have this person. You went on for like the next month. Everyone we're gonna have on.
I don't remember.
We said, but tonight we're having the.
Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we're having Mark Baker on the show tonight. Later tonight at the 9:00 hour here Eastern, we're gonna have Mark Baker. He's a good friend of the show. It's kind of a throwback because he was the first person we ever interviewed on this show. Yeah. He's the creator of Private Murphy, Charlie Mike Comics. He's going to talk to us about his new project and things he's got going on. He's also such a good friend of mine. He designed the lovely Pop Culture Warrior logo. That's a Mark Baker. That's a Mark Baker right there. Very cool of him to do. And so he's a good friend of the show. We're very happy to have him back. So guys, stay tuned later today when we talk to Mark Baker. Now, moving on.
The second hour, Mark Baker will be here.
Mark Baker.
Really fun guy. He's a fun guest.
He's an awesome dude. I love him to death. He's just the coolest. So, some news came out today. Okay, you ready for this? Not about Mark Baker. Jumping back to Marvel talk. So, we know a lot of shows are coming. We know Hawkeye and Moon Knight and She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and all these different shows. One of the shows that they announced not too long ago, Secret Invasion, which I'm so excited for. I was a big fan of the comic book event, Secret Invasion. Obviously, this will not hold a candle to this is a much smaller scale. The same way Civil War in the movies was not Civil War from the comic books because you just couldn't do it. But they're attempting their version of Secret Invasion, which I think is going to be really good. It came out yesterday that Oscar-winning actress, star of The Crown, Olivia Colman, is joining the cast for Secret Invasion. Again, an undisclosed role. We don't know who they're playing yet. But today, news just broke that a familiar face will also be joining, a familiar face of pop culture. And here she is, Miss Emilia Clarke. You might know her as Daenerys Targaryen, the mother of dragons. You might know her as Sarah Connor from the failed Terminator movie. You might know her as, what's the chick's name from the Star Wars movie? So this will be the second time she's in a Disney movie. I forget the character's name. She was in Hope. Was it Hope?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Not Rogue One.
But Carly Morgenthau was in one of the Disney movies too. Yeah. Or in the Star Wars movies too.
I don't know.
I'm not as big a Star Wars fan, dude. I'm not. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And I like
good.
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I liked it enough, but I'm not a huge fan.
Right.
And honestly, if you were to put like a new season of The Mandalorian on at the same time as a new season, like if it came out in 2 weeks when Loki comes out, it'd be hard for me to pick which one to watch. You know what I mean?
You can watch both, right? That's a.
I don't know, but I'm saying if I only had to pick one, right? If I could only pick one.
There's this new thing where you can actually watch 2 shows from Disney Plus.
Talk to my fucking family about that one. I was like, "What do you want to watch? Super Strikers or some shit like that?"
So yeah, I was reading up on an article. Basically, Kevin Feige, the brains behind all this, he got asked like, "Look, you're doing Secret Invasion. Is it going to be this because in the Marvel comics, it was this massive event. I mean, everybody was in question about who was secretly a Skrull and who wasn't. So when they asked him kind of about the magnitude of the comics version versus what the series will be, he said, well, look, there were way more characters in the Secret Invasion comic series than we even put in Endgame. So it's not conceivable for us to top what we did in Endgame on a Disney Plus series. It's just not conceivable. He said, this is really more to showcase Sam Jackson, Ben Mendelsohn, who played the character Talos in Captain Marvel. You know, they're tapping into those characters. There will be cameos. There will be lots of characters. There will be twists and turns. But you know, he said the focus is more on the story than on can we cram in 1,000 characters from the Marvel world into this thing. So,
well, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier today about the kind of the differences now between this well produced series, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just some crap series that's thrown together. It's well written, it's well thought out, and they're making an attempt to make it fit into the MCU, into the canon that's there, and create new canon with it, right? And it's almost better because you are getting they can really develop these characters.
Yeah.
Right. If this was a 2.5 hour feature film, mm-hmm. We'll just take Falcon and the Winter Soldier right now for all intents and purposes, right? If you were to try to build this into a 2.5 hour film, you couldn't, right? You just have to skip over a lot of, they've been able to really develop that character of, you see an evolution in Sam, you see an evolution in Bucky. This whole last episode they just had on, you would not have been able to do that in a film. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Right? To show that kind of deep character development and kind of tie up some loose ends, right? And really build on these guys and give them some sort of meaning other than just, well, Bucky was the Winter Soldier, now he's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're really able to develop these characters into things that you can't in a movie. Or, the John Walker story. It would have been basically good then bad. You couldn't really have like a lot of, this why him trying to fit into that mantle of Captain America, because he didn't start out being a bad dude.
Right.
We didn't like him because he looks like he has Down syndrome, but that's another story. But he turns into this bad, I'm not even gonna say bad dude. He just doesn't, he's trying to fill shoes that were almost impossible for him to fill. And you can build this character and show these things, show his shortcomings as a person and as a character in this, 6-7 hour series that you couldn't do in a 2-hour feature. So they may not have the budget of the big films. They may not have, the same team of writers and all of these things and a CGI budget and all these, but you're able to really tell a better story, I think.
Absolutely.
With these series.
Absolutely.
And so if you were to take something like a movie, a 2-hour movie, and you just keep cramming it so full of shit, I don't know which pathway is better in the long run. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say for the show,
universe.
For the universe, but actually as for the different characters in there, right? I'm not sure how they're going to do this Loki thing, because isn't he supposed to be dead?
Well, that's a whole. We're gonna table that conversation, because that's a whole other thing.
That's a whole.
Let's finish. We'll finish Falcon and Winter Soldier, then we're gonna dive into that one next week or the week after. Because
I'll just scratch that. But anyway, but we look at these things, right? And so you talk about these films that are coming up, and I'm almost kind of. I've been looking forward to Black Widow for a while.
Yeah.
I really have, and I really think she's due for her own show, and to really kind of work on her character a little bit.
Yeah,
because
flesh it out a bit.
Yeah, because even in the other shows, right? I mean, I guess in the Winter Soldier, like she plays a pretty massive role in there,
right?
But for the most part, she's kind of almost a secondary character in a lot of that. You know what I mean? She kind of takes second stage behind Captain America.
Yeah, she's in there to sprinkle some sex appeal and some action, female action stuff, and then it's but we don't really get to know her. I think that's going to be great for this movie. And yeah.
But I mean, I guess I don't I almost right now would rather see her have a series.
Right.
Not instead of a 2-hour feature film, have her in a 6-hour.
I mean, my guy, let her have her movie, man. All the other big six got their movie.
She deserves her movie. She really does. I'm not saying she doesn't.
And she's dead.
I'm saying right now, in all this,
right,
it might almost be better to have her in her series, because then you can really, really, really delve into where she came from and what she does, and why she is how she is. All of the character development stuff that we just saw, like in this last episode, of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And it might be kind of interesting to see that. It might be neat to see that of her.
Well, and I think that's why, you give her the standalone 2-hour movie where she's the main character without all the other Avengers, kind of taking up space that can focus on, and we know it's going to focus on her childhood and her young adulthood and her adulthood. So that can kind of, that's going to bookend her story. I think it makes sense to me. It makes sense to give her the movie, fully flesh her out, say, look, this is where she came from. This is where she was. This is where she ended. Close that chapter while leaving breadcrumbs, because Black Widow will live on. Scarlett Johansson and Natasha Romanoff, she's done, but the mantle of Black Widow, guarantee you, will be passed on. And there's already been hints at certain characters from the Black Widow movie being seen on the set of the Hawkeye series, so that'll tie into that. So yeah, there's more to come from that. So we'll.
Well, I'm not saying there's not, but I mean, it just, I don't know. It's interesting dynamic now.
Yeah.
To where, like, which way, and it's almost like when we first talked to WandaVision, first talked about WandaVision, I was initially kind of reluctant to see it, right? Because I was kind of afraid, and I know you really liked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
Right? I didn't care for it as much.
Sure.
Because the production value wasn't there.
Right.
Not to be a dick, but
I hear what you're saying.
Like, the production value wasn't there, and the storyline was kind of weird and fell outside of what I kind of understood. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So with WandaVision, I was afraid it was going to be the same way. Okay. And then they come in and do really well at WandaVision, and now I've done really well at Falcon and Winter Soldier. And like I said, the production value's been there, the storylines have been there.
Definitely.
It's been a quality production. So now I'm looking at, like, my mantra in all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make it good.
Make it good.
And I'm afraid that they're doing such a good job with these that the movies might.
No, I think, but I hear what you're saying. I think this is an opportunity for them to, and the idea behind it was that they will get to tell a story a different way. They call it the Marvel method, right? The way that the movies are, 3-act structure, and origin, and then he fails and then he triumphs, and it's too predictable and things like that. Well, this is their opportunity to give a more thoughtful. Where something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. struggled is because it's 20 episodes or 30 episodes or whatever it is, and that's a lot of storytelling. And when you have that kind of, like, the budget to just do something like that is already massive. So when you can, I feel like the Disney series are the best of both worlds. You condense that full season into 6 episodes, so you can have something to scale the size of the movies while still being long format, television. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be the wave of the future. I don't think they're going to do long format. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's a bygone era. I don't think they're going to do 13, 20, 30, episode seasons of things, which ties me into my next story.
But
go ahead.
Okay. But okay, say something like WandaVision. Okay, it was what, 8 episodes, right?
6.
6?
6 episodes, yeah.
They could have made it 10.
I think they could have.
And got into the story a little more. Same with this one.
Sure.
I mean, but like you said, where is the limit on that?
Right.
And I'm also going to say this about Black Widow coming up.
Mm-hmm.
They've had way too much time to fucking perfect it. This movie had best be good.
Well, I mean, remember, it was ready for release when COVID shut things down. Remember, we shut down in March, and it was supposed to be coming out in May. It was
April.
Like 2 months.
Late
April, early May. So the movie was done already. Now, all this time...
But I'm just saying, they could have went through and tweaked it.
And, you could have tweaked it. And here's the thing, I'm sure...
I'm going to say this. Okay, Sergeant Radar, has very much issue with what is happening right now with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And do you know what that is?
I'm eagerly awaiting.
The fucking shield, right? Because what happened to the shield in Endgame? What happened?
It got destroyed. It got destroyed.
Got fucking destroyed,
yeah.
Right? Then all of a sudden, fucking they show up. Fucking Steve Rogers shows up and he's got a fucking shield. Where'd that come from?
Okay.
Where'd it come from? It's not broken, right?
Let me because they've already acknowledged this, and I'll explain. So what happened is when he left, right? Which first of all, it's not the same shield. Like if you look at it, it's different. It has the notches and the little kind of star patterns and things like that. It's not the same shield. Okay. When he left, when he went back in time and he put the stones back, the process.
With what weapon did he take back?
Well,
not a shield.
Right. He took the hammer and he took the case and all that. So he put the stones back. Now the idea is that
what happened to the hammer? What happened to the hammer? It just didn't turn into a fucking shield that he gives to fucking Sam.
Can you let me get to it?
Sure. Carry on.
When he returned the stones, he's in essence cutting off the branches of the timeline. He's supposed to be restoring the timeline as it should be, but he makes the decision to stay in the past, thereby altering the past, thereby creating an alternate timeline. Not of this timeline, a separate timeline where he lived happily ever after with Peggy Carter. Now, they've said in order for him to come back to Endgame, we don't know how, we don't know when, but he somehow had to jump from that timeline to get back to this timeline, to our timeline, in order to pass the shield off. That is the shield not of our timeline. That is a shield of a separate timeline. So
where's the Captain America in that timeline then? Running around fucking shieldless.
I don't know. I don't know. We may never know. But here's the thing. I still postulate that there's something special about that shield, and it has to do with Bucky. Or no, I'm sorry, not Bucky. Sam. Falcon, that there's a reason. Like Steve knew he was gonna give the shield to Sam. Now there's a line in this show that really is key in this. Bucky at one point in this last episode says, like, when me and Steve talked about giving you the shield, neither of us, realized, what it would be like for a black man to take that shield. Now, we know from watching this that we saw the moment Steve disappeared, reappeared as an old man, and immediately gave the shield to Sam. So that means that Bucky and Steve had a conversation prior to that moment, a private conversation where he said, listen, I'm going to go back, and when I come back, I'm going to have a shield. I'm going to make a shield because there needs to be a shield, and I'm going to give it to Sam. Are you cool with that? So you see,
but I mean, okay, but that just sounds like it's a fucking lot of work, dude.
I'm just saying, right? But they put it there. They put it there for you to put the pieces together. You just got to put the pieces together.
Yes. Okay, but instead of putting pieces together, they could have just I don't know, put that on film.
They were nice enough to leave you the breadcrumbs. They were nice enough to leave you the breadcrumbs to understand that this was Steve's plan from the beginning before he even traveled back. He knew what he was going to do. Did
he beat up the other fucking Steve Rogers to fucking get a shield? Or he was like,
he might have.
He's like, look, buddy, I'm a time traveler. I really need to give this to a black guy in 60 years. Hook it up with a shield. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah. I'm reading your guys' comments. Yeah, you guys are hilarious. You guys are really, really funny. I love it. Yeah, I wish I could read all these comments.
He just go to Well, okay. And what's in the case?
What? Come on. You can't.
Wings? Are they new
wings?
It's
absolutely a new Falcon suit. He went to the Wakandan people. He said, "Look, my boy he got his ass handed to him. He got his wings ripped off so willy-nilly. He needs some of that Wakanda technology. He needs some of that vibranium technology, and dollars to donuts. The suit is going to be the Falcon suit in Captain America colors, red, white, and blue.
All right.
Dollars to donuts.
With
goggles,
with Black Panther claws.
with back. I mean, adjusted, and the suit adjusted so that he can carry the shield as he's flying. It'll have he throws it on his back or something. I don't know. But
then it'll cover up his little jetpacky thingy.
Well, because it's Wakanda, so it's fine. So real quick,
you know what? I got ooh. Okay, I have a theory too. We're going back to this fucking Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah.
What if vibranium is just like Beskar? It's the same stuff.
I mean, Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you remember, in Black Panther, they said the vibranium came when a meteor hit Wakanda, and that's what brought vibranium to this world. It's of another world. Maybe that's Beskar from the Star Wars universe making it here. I mean, what's up? Like, we just broke this thing wide open. Break out the conspiracy theories. We just broke this thing wide open.
We just made a link between Star Wars and the Marvel universe.
We did it, guys. We did it. Good night. Good night. We won. We connected the dots. So real quick,
and how come he's still a captain? 1943 to now, he still just can't get promoted.
He took a break in service. There was a break in service. They retroactively, like they gave him the rank. I mean, anybody else takes a 70-year break, they're not going to give you your rank back. He should be Private America.
Yeah,
Lieutenant America. Anyway, so I do have some sad news and since we're talking about the Disney Plus series, that WandaVision, as awesome of a show as it was, very, very unlikely to ever see a season 2. They've officially added it to consideration to the Emmys under the category of limited series, meaning it's not ever coming back. Pretty much anything that enters as a limited series means it's limited. It doesn't have another season. While they've left the door open for Falcon and Winter Soldier because they've entered it under the drama series, believe it or not. So both WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier are being entered into for Emmy consideration, and honestly, I think they should win
absolutely.
something. I mean, with the groundbreaking stuff. Stuff.
I mean, let's be honest, because I really did enjoy WandaVision. I think everyone here can agree with that.
Sure,
but there's really nowhere to put a season 2 of that.
Right, exactly.
There's
How
really
do you
that really did
tell that story
really
again?
Did end well.
Yeah, and we know her character, and I'm sure Vision at some point will continue on in this universe. We're going to see her in the Doctor Strange movie. God knows where we're going to see Vision. I mean, he could pop up anywhere. Oh, that'd be cool to see him in Armor Wars, the next show. Anyway, but yeah, so that's done. But they've left the door.
We've talked about this though too. Like, we know that Wanda's going to be in the next Doctor Strange. Right, we've already discussed that. It's already been pretty well. They haven't really said the next time we're going to see
Paul Bettany and Vision. Yeah.
Well, no, not that too, I guess a little bit, but I was thinking more along the lines of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I think
when have they said we're going to see him again?
Well, that hasn't been discussed. That hasn't been acknowledged.
They haven't said they're gonna be in the next Spider-Man or some shit like that. They haven't said anything about that, have they?
I'm sure they'll.
I'm not saying
somewhere.
there's not possible for him to be there, but like from what I've kind of read a little bit and what you've alluded to is Wanda's going to play a pretty big role.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, she'll play. Yeah, she'll be essential. Yeah, there's gonna be some madness, and there'll be some multiversing, and there'll be Doctor Strange. So there'll be things happening. But I'm excited because we're running short on time. But I'd be remiss if we didn't share this. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings dropped the first trailer. This is going to be our next Marvel movie post Black Widow. Super exciting because this looks dope. Guys, real quick, let's check this out. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I gave you 10 years to live your life. And where did that get you? You walked in my shadow. I trained you. Most dangerous people in the world.
We make a good team.
There you go, guys. That looks awesome. I mean, that is kind of like what we were promised for Iron Fist, but like actually done well. I mean, it looks so, the action, the visuals, the different styles that they're going for. You know, you get the one scene that looks almost like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon with the wire work. You know, you get the very fantastical wide shots with look like the lion that he was running, but not like a typical lion, but almost like the you know, in the Asian culture they have the like the lion when they do the like the parades and stuff. Like it looked like a version of that kind of a lion. I mean, my God, it looks incredible. And for those that don't know, we're gonna see the real Mandarin, right? This was a guy who was teased in Iron Man 3. He was going up against the Mandarin, turned out to be Trevor Slattery and this nobody, but he had based that character off of the real legend of the Mandarin, and now we're gonna see the real Mandarin, the guy who commands the 10 rings. And now something very cool for those that didn't, I don't know if you spotted it real quick there. In the comics, the Mandarin had the 10 rings of power. He had actual rings. Here, they're bands. They're like power bands. So instead of the rings being finger rings, they're more like bracelets. And those will be his 10 rings, so to speak, that give him power, and it you know, it lights up and it bulks him out and it does all this stuff. And so it looks good. It looks really good. And the idea of that, here's a kid that he raised, his son, and his son was supposed to be this world's deadliest assassin kind of guy, and then for him to turn his back on it and actually become a good guy and fight against the Mandarin, then that's awesome. Yeah, Jim, I know you saw 3, but there's a wider shot. I think it was cut off. You didn't see the other 2 higher up, and then in the other shot where he breaks the table, you can kind of see him on both arms. Or I was gonna say something dirty, like maybe there's rings somewhere else, you know, too. That
it's not 21 rings.
he's got he's got nipple rings, and he's got the you know, anyway. I'm not gonna go there. But anyway, yes, that looks oh man, it looks good. It looks good. I'm excited for it. I like the cast that they have for it. Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous because this is a very even from that time in comic books, it was a very culturally not sensitive topic. You got characters like Fu Manchu and things like that. So it's like it could be a little, you know, where everybody wants to be PC nowadays, and so I think they're gonna knock this one out of the park. I think it's gonna be really good. You know, they're kind of making up for the double cross that they did to us as fans for Iron Man 3, and they're gonna bring us the real Mandarin and the real army, and I think this is gonna be Marvel's version of the Hand, or I should say the cinematic universe version of the Hand, whereas in the comic books, you know, the Hand was the mystical ninjas and things like that. I think the 10 Rings organization is kind of taking that place. So yeah, I mean, it you know, what if it ties all in? What if Allegra, Valentina is part of the 10 Rings organization? Maybe she's the more up to date government official looking kind of version, because we did see in, if you remember Ant-Man, when what's his name was trying to sell the yellow jacket, there was a guy who had a neck tattoo. He was in a suit, but he had the neck tattoo of the 10 rings. You know, meaning hinting he was kind of in that part of the organization. So, you know, they're not all ninjas, right? There's some that walk around in suits and plays and do business deals. This was supposed to be a business deal. So what if she is part of that organization? Or I don't know. I think she's more part of the Russian thing, but it all ties together. I'm gonna put my tinfoil hat. It all ties together. It all ties. They know him and she knows her, and they go in, and she's a double, triple, quadruple agent working for every side. She's going to turn out to be, she is Sam Jackson, who's also a Skrull. And we just go down the rabbit hole with this one. But yeah, so one more bit of news before we jump to break here, and we'll bring on Mark Baker. So we've talked about this for a couple weeks that Alfred Molina was going to be returning as Doc Ock. There we go. They've been teasing this, and we've seen stuff, and then there was rumors, and we know Jamie Foxx was coming back as Electro. Well, he's finally spilled the beans. He basically came out and said, "Yes, I'm replaying my character," and not just that.
Don't worry about that.
And not just that he's playing a Dr. Octopus, but he's playing his Dr. Octopus directly from the original Spider-Man movies. Basically, as he explained it, and I don't know how much trouble he's going to get into this for basically revealing plot details. He said, hey, when they came to me to say, play Doc Ock again, he said, but I thought my character died at the end of Spider-Man 2. And the director, Watts, pointed out to him, hey, man, in this universe, no one really dies. And then basically told him that his story would pick up seconds when he plunges into the water at the end of Spider-Man 2. So we're talking some type of wormhole, interdimensional time, reality altering, space-time continuum rift, something. But basically the idea is at the end of Spider-Man 2 is he plunges into the water and we see the light go out. He's floating away. Well, apparently at that moment he gets sent over to this universe, and that's where we find him. He did say he was concerned that, hey, I'm coming back after 17 years of playing this role. I look a little different. He said, his words, I now have 2 chins, a waddle, crow's feet, and a slightly dodgy lower back. So they're obviously going to be using some of that de-aging technology to make him look as he did for that role. So we now have solid confirmation that both Electro from the Andrew Garfield universe and Doc Ock from the Tobey Maguire universe are in fact in Spider-Man No Way Home. So super exciting stuff. And one last bit of news for the Spider-Man part. There was a rumor that, obviously Jon Favreau coming back as Happy Hogan, which makes sense because he's been in the Iron Man series for a while, and then he kind of transitioned into the Spider-Man series. There's been no confirmation that he's going to be in the movie, but I will tell you, as part of conversations I'm having with different people, I happen to know that when I asked about the whereabouts of Jon Favreau from people close to him, and they basically said all they can say, he's currently on location filming. And what's filming right now? Spider-Man No Way Home. Coincidence? I mean, it's a small world, but
so isn't the new Mandalorian?
Yeah, maybe.
Just saying.
I mean,
I
don't think they've started. I don't think they've started filming Mandalorian yet. I haven't. I think he might wrap filming this.
They would almost have to. They almost have to be done filming it, wouldn't they? Because they're releasing it in October?
December. Comes out in December. Yeah, they got time. A lot
of CGI.
It's 2 months of filming. They do most of it. Whatever. Anyway, so guys, we are gonna take a short break. When we come back, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Mark Baker of Private Murphy, of Charlie Mike Comics, the legend himself, is going to be joining us right here on camera. I have you for the first time. He's a little nervous, so let's all make him feel right at home and loved and welcomed, because he's a little nervous about being on camera here for the first time live on Pop Culture Warrior. So we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, Mark Baker. See you on the other side, guys. Shots.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
I stood there in that middle of church with a bottle of gin in my hand. I'm looking up at the rooftop like I'm trying to find my long lost friend. My days turn to nights, my nights turn to weeks when you're living life on the road. I'm halfway back to New Orleans with a few more drinks to go. I said, tip 'em on back. Well, let's tip 'em on back. I finally made it back to Bourbon Street, picking some of them old night bars, hoping I could find myself playing music on my guitar. Boys a kid around, they all shouted out as the drinks began to flow. I pulled out that old guitar, then I showed them how to do it.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. The voice of U.S. Army WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Pop Culture Warrior. I think whatever it is, episode 53 at this point. I'm super delighted today. And I do this all the time. I always forget to take off Radar's cam. 1 second. There we go. I am delighted as always to have someone really cool to talk to during this second hour. And I can't talk him up enough. He's a phenomenal guy. He's the creator of the much loved Private Murphy military cartoon strip. He's the man behind Charlie Mike Comics. He was the first ever guest on Pop Culture Warrior, and now he's the first ever two-time guest on Pop Culture Warrior. Everybody give a big old shout out to Mark Baker, guys. Thanks for coming, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to have you here, man.
Thanks, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
I really like the t-shirt you got.
Yeah, right? Check it out. I told the audience, man. I said that this is a Mark Baker right here. I rock it. You know, the logo, we love it. You have been such a good, kind friend to me, and we go back a little ways now. Everybody's already clapping and saying, "Hey, Mark" in the chats. Everybody give a big "Hey, Mark." Man, you are truly loved here. We love having you. For those that unfortunately, sadly don't know you and haven't had the pleasure of knowing you, like I said, you go way back. I want to let people know a little bit about where you came from, where you started, and why you're so loved amongst us.
Well, I don't know. I can't speak to the why I'm so loved, but I draw a cartoon called Private Murphy, or when it first started, it was called Private Murphy's Law. And for years, I mean, this is a long time ago, I think I started in 1992, something like that, a long time. But so I would draw cartoons for the guys in my team, like inside jokes about stuff going on in the unit and so forth. And they kind of ganged up on me and said, "Hey, you really need to take this down to the I was at Fort Bragg at the time. You really need to take this down to the Paraglide and get it in the paper." But they weren't cartoons that you could really put in the paper. They weren't for wide consumption. They were, raunchy, terrible inside type jokes. So what I did was I drew a cartoon about the 5 points of performance, for airborne operations.
A legend.
And I brought it to the Paraglide, where I met the editor there. His name was Sergeant Bean. And he said, "Yeah, this is cool, but I don't want just like a one-time shot. Can you give me something on a weekly basis?" And I hadn't thought about it up until then. So I said, "Yeah, sure." And I went home and I thought about it, and I was kind of staying with a guy waiting to get housing, and his name was Murphy. And I said, "Hey, I'm gonna use your name for this cartoon I'm gonna do for the Paraglide." And so I just figured, okay, I'll start with this guy joining the Army, take him through basic, AIT, jump school, onward to his unit, and it just went from there. So that's a cartoon. I mean, some people are familiar with it, maybe not as many as I would like to think, but it did run in the Army Times for quite a number of years.
Yeah, we one comment already in the chat. I've seen your stuff at Bragg on the walls, so it's been around. It's been around. It gets around.
That's good.
So okay, so you know, you did Private Murphy, which, I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, do you still have? By the way, I'm just curious. Do you still have like a lot of the original drawings and like the first, or did it get lost in time?
No, they're gone. I don't have any of them left. As a matter of fact, of the books, I only have one or two copies left that I own.
Oh wow.
The rest are gone. They're out of print. What's funny is I've seen some of them on sale on eBay. People are asking like these astronomical, crazy prices for these things, and it's funny to me, but I don't know if they're selling them or not, but there they are.
Yeah. I mean, just again, out of curiosity, obviously everything is done more digitally nowadays. When you started, it was all hand drawn stuff. When did you kind of switch to more digital, and do you kind of have a preference one way or the other?
I really like the digital stuff because there's so much, there's so much manipulation you can do after you've got the initial idea down, and the coloring and shading and the software that's out there available today. I mean, half of the stuff I don't even know. I like to use Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator. There's a new program I learned called Blender, which this thing does everything: 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional animation. I barely know how to use it, and already it's super cool. I'm looking forward to like really putting out some really cool stuff with this, because I think that's the wave now, right? Like, I like doing 2-dimensional comics, but I don't think there's so much more that people are doing now. They're doing animations and stuff that I would never even have dreamed I could be able to do 10 years ago or even 5 years ago.
Right. No, absolutely. I think it's evolve or die, right? It's complacency kills. You gotta constantly. Yeah, is part of that too, that like, man, I've been doing this cartoon this way, this style, this voice for so long that you almost have to like mix it up, not just for the audience to keep up with times, but maybe even just personally to keep yourself excited in the product.
No, I mean, absolutely. And plus I'm pretty much I'm very easily distracted. And there's so many things that I want to do. I kind of get a little bit overwhelmed. Like right now I probably have about 20 different things that I want to do, and it's really hard for me to stay focused and say just do this one thing, knock it out, and move on to the next. I mean, I owe people drawings. I owe people different things I've already promised to get done. I haven't done a new Murphy cartoon. I need to do that. Charlie Mike, I just finished, issue number 6. And, and there's already 2 more stories I want to do there. But, no, but I'll find, but I completely forgot where I was going with this. But anyway.
it's part of the fun.
So, yeah, so you have to evolve or die, but also, there's different, I don't know, we have different interests and we want to do more things.
Sure.
And I think maybe that can also be a little bit confusing, because a lot of people, at least people have let me know, like, hey, why are you doing something besides Private Murphy?
Right.
Why are you changing your style when you've already got this established? We want, people tell me, I want you just to do this thing. Which, okay, I mean, I'm going to continue to try it, and do that thing. But I also want to do other things. I mean, you evolve, and you try to get better at doing things.
Absolutely.
I think my drawing now is much better than it was 10 years ago, by far.
Right, right. You said, well, hey, do you want me to go back to hand drawn animation? And that was so. Like, no, I'm getting better. I'm improving. I'm changing. The way I'm delivering it is. And like you said, the technology is changing. I I'm gonna pat myself on the back here. Everything you see on this show, I did myself. I am not an animator. I am not a computer guy. Like, I went on YouTube and I was like, how to make an overlay on a live show, and like you learn this stuff. And you're right. There's so much technology. There's so much software, and it's so cool. I've used a fraction of it, and you can make some pretty cool things. Just so you know, again, you're getting tons of love in the chats. They're saying you're still an amazing artist. People are going, oh my God, what if, like there was an animated Private Murphy, that you'd have millions of views on YouTube if there was an animated, if you did like an animated, Private Murphy. So, Nicole says you need to, feed the love of your art to make you happy too. So there you go. That's a nice one. Yeah, so I mean, there's such a passion for the work that you do. I think it connects. Like we've had this conversation before, but when I was in basic training, when I was in infantry, when I was in airborne school, like I saw Private Murphy and I connected with him on such a visceral, deep level. It was just like he's me. I'm this guy. He understands what I'm going through. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm positive that there's so many people that love your work. I've seen recently, because obviously everybody follow his page, right? The Private Murphy page, the Charlie Mike's comics. We'll Radar, somebody out there, throw the links up in the chat so people can find his work. But in watching what you do, I've seen you've been dabbling with the visual animator, the 3D mechanic stuff. I mean, what's that been like?
It's I'm having fun, and like I said, this program is called Blender. At first, I want to do some 3D stuff. They've got other programs like ZBrush for sculpting and so forth, but Blender was free. It's a freeware as opposed to spending thousands of dollars on ZBrush. And the more, like you were saying, I do the same thing. I'm going on YouTube, I'm going through tutorials. There's a lot of people. I love the fact that people are so willing to just give knowledge and just put out lessons and free of charge right there on YouTube. Now, of course, sometimes they'll have a patron site or something. They'll say, hey, come to the site and for even more stuff.
Sure.
But people are so willing to share what they know, and it's fantastic. And I want to do the same once I get to a level of skill where I can do that too.
Yeah, we all do. I mean, that's what the vision of the internet was way back in its heyday. It's about sharing information, right? Putting us all on a more or less equal plane of existence of knowledge-wise, bridging that gap. Oh man, there's so much I want to ask. As a tease, as you're, I saw the little, you posted this video of like the line knocking down the blocks off the edge, and what, as you get better at this, as you develop your skill, what's something that you kind of want to bring? Do you have an idea of something you want to bring, or is it just kind of still in that molding the clay stage?
Well, I mean, I have ideas in my head that I'm nowhere near having the skills to pull them off yet.
Okay.
But I would love to do, and the thing is, I'm not sure where to go, whether to do a two-dimensional animation, because that might be easier.
Sure.
But I don't know. But also they have the 3D animation you can do too. But no, I mean, I've got some really cool ideas, at least in my mind. They are super cool that I'd like to do with, include like And again, I mean, I'm gonna get away from Murphy
Sure.
somewhat. You know, I got this whole crazy idea about coffee beans, and these coffee bean soldiers, going into the grinder, you know, whatever, jumping in out of the C-147. I don't know.
I got you. That's cool. That's cool. And by the way, guys in the chats, if you have questions for Mark, by all means, lay them out there. We'll get to as many as we can. We already got one from Captain Wayne who says, "Was Far Side Comics an inspiration for you?"
Yes. I mean, I may have even stolen some Far Side ideas. In fact, I know I did. Okay. So, yeah, I stole some ideas from Gary Larson. Definitely Calvin and Hobbes
Oh,
was, which I think is probably the best cartoon that's ever been created. Um, so a big influence by Bill Larson. Um, I don't know. I mean, I've always been a comic book guy. I've always wanted to draw a comic book.
right.
You
Well,
know?
and you do now, right? For those that don't know, Charlie and Mike Comics. Oh, and if I had time, I'd run back to my wall back there, and I have issue number 1. I bring it up here to show everybody. But Charlie and Mike Comics is a phenomenal comic book where you take real life stories and animate them and share them in a medium that, the thing that I love most about it is that if I tell someone my story, it's they can only picture it so much, but you really took the time to hear these stories and get the details. I mean, as best as you can, right? It's animation, of course, but really bringing those stories to life, I think it's an incredible thing. I'm curious what's been the reception of these stories so far. The last time we talked to you, you had just barely gotten issue 1 or 2 out. So to date, how's been the reaction from people?
Um, I don't know that a whole lot of people even know about the Charlie Mike comics. I mean, honestly, so like I just finished issue number 6. Up until the first 5 issues, they were real. Well, I mean, there's a whole a bunch of your stories I have in there, right? So they're real deployment stories that I put cartoony drawings to and make a comic book. The issue 6, this is the first time that it's not a real story, not a real deployment story. I mean, it's based on a real unit, right, in World War One, but it's a fictional story. So this is the first time I've did the whole thing, wrote, drew, directed, did the whole story, which
Right.
it's kind of a it's something I've always wanted to do, and now I finally done it. And when I finished that comic, I kind of got a little depressed.
Mm.
Like, I had, like a like a.
Yeah, the
I was
come
so,
down of it.
yeah, I mean, I was so excited about doing this comic. As I finished a page, I posted it on my patron site, like to show everybody who's a patron. And that's probably not the best thing to do. I think a little irritating to string people along because it's taken me like 6 months. So 6 months of a page every other week or something. Um, and it's only one of 3 stories that I have um, planned. They're in my head. Some I've fleshed them out a little bit, but in any case, so it's the first fictional story one. Is this one?
And was there an impetus? Is there a reason for the change in direction? Did you want to try something new? Did you have a dream that you had to put down? Like, what was the reason for the change?
So I mean, you probably have this happen to you. You'll have ideas will grow upon other ideas.
Mm.
It started doing a story like a science fiction story in the future that I need to get back to because I didn't finish it. And that was going to be a really long story. And I mean, I don't know what it was, but so when I'm doing these stories, sometimes I'll be doing research, looking things up, just because I'm so out of touch with I've been retired from the Army since 2007.
Right.
that's a long time. I mean, I've been retired longer than almost as as long as I was in. So I'm out of touch with the lingo and how people, just the feel. So I'll be researching stuff, and I stumbled across the Harlem Hellfighters, right? And I thought, wow, you know, I had never heard of these guys, right? So in reading about them, I thought, well, I want to do a story, but like some stories, I think they've been done so many times that you don't want to redo a story that's been told a million times. But I still wanted to have that unit be the focus. So I started doing that story, and I really had no idea where it was going. I was like, I'm just going to start and do this a page at a time. I kind of had an idea, like, okay, this is how it's going to start, this is how it's going to end, but in between, I didn't know what I was doing. So I kind of just was winging it. And then that branched from, okay, I have a future story, science fiction. I have this fictional story from World War One. I want to finish this off with a present day story. So I'm going to have these 3 war stories. The first one's finished, Harlem Hellfighters. The future story isn't done, but I've started on it. And then the middle story. And eventually, I mean, I don't know how many years it's going to take me to get these things done, but when I do, it will all be compiled into one large graphic novel.
That's, I mean, I can't, I'm reading through the chats as people are just, like, oh man, the stuff they're saying is incredible. They're again, super supportive. They're telling you to keep up the art. Talking, I know you talked about the coming down from the work, and they're saying, lots of artists go through that, and that I know the feeling, and like it's I mean, you have such a I don't know if you feel it, but you do have such a following and people that love your work, and it makes a difference. I got Wallbreaker here says, you're the maker of dark humor. You saved my brother from boredom in the core. Your work crosses the branches as well, in case you didn't know. Let's see, here's a question. Has it been a challenge to keep up with the times, with the changing times? How do you keep up with what's going on? Like, I guess the idea, how do you get inspiration for Private Murphy stories now, when you, like you said, you've been out since 2007?
Right. So I'll tell you my secret. I mean, besides people writing me, I mean, that's the whole reason. That's really the reason I started Charlie Like Comics. Is I was like, I can't do the Murphy anymore because I have no idea what's going on. What I'll do is people will feed me stories and I'll illustrate them. Which, I mean, it's much easier for me. You give me your story, I do the illustration. We can bounce back and forth. Hey, is this kind of what it looked like? Or anyway, I don't have to come up with a story. It's fed to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for to keep like the gag cartoons, the Private Murphy cartoons going, I visit WTF their website, on Facebook, and I see what's going on, and essentially I steal from them and turn it into cartoons.
Hey, I mean, you heard it here first, folks. Get.
I'm sorry. I mean, I hope that doesn't get me in trouble. But, I don't like absolutely plagiarize, but definitely go there for the ideas. And
Not at all. Not we are touched. I'm a member of the WTF Nation family. We are touched that we can provide you inspiration. Again, we are all lovers of your work. We get excited when you're coming on, and when you're promoting stuff, and so to hear that, it kind of, it's the snake eating the tail, where we can provide content to help you provide content that helps us. I mean, come on, it's the best of all worlds. So tell me, obviously your thing, I do want to talk about is the Harlem Hellfighters. Can you, again, without spoiling it, right? We want people to buy it and check it out and see it, but what sell it to us. You gotta get the audience excited about it. What can you say about the story?
Oh boy, you're really putting me on spot. So it's complete fiction. You know, even the names are not accurate, I'm sure. And you know, I don't even have. I got some proof copies made, and I don't even have them because well, one I gave away as a prize for someone, you know, on the my patron site. I think the other I gave to my mom or something. So I can't even show you it. I don't even have anything to show you about it really. But it's you know, it's World War One trench fighting. I tried to make it less cartoony than my normal work. I tried to make it a little more realistic, more like a real comic book. And I tried to make it, you know, as visceral and as gross as it, you know, like the more I did research about World War I and the kind of, you know, just what these guys went through, it's, you know, it's beyond belief, horrific how they had to live in these trenches and fight in these trenches and
right.
Just terrible. And I've had people that do reenactments of it let me know, you know, that I've already screwed up a bunch of things. Like, it's not historically accurate, okay?
Sure.
But I mean, it's a good story. I'm really proud of it. I'm probably more proud of this comic than anything else I've done to date.
Wow. Yeah, right now, so I pulled up, I got the Kickstarter, so the audience right now is seeing the Kickstarter for the Harlem Hellfighters and some of the artwork. I wanted them to be able to see what it is you're talking about, and the artwork is gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's obviously not, if you're looking for Private Murphy, he ain't here, right? This is really well detailed artwork that's just again stunning, and just, I know there's only a few pictures here. Trying to see if I can find any more pictures because I want people to see this artwork. It's absolutely gorgeous. So outside, obviously, we have the Kickstarter. We'll make sure we put that in the chat so people can link to it and find it. Is there anywhere else that people can go to, you know, support the work that you're doing or see, you know, what you're doing right now?
Well, there's my patron site, so that gives like I post things there that I don't post on Facebook, or I'll post things there before I post them on Facebook. So it's an inside look at some things that I do.
Okay.
Right. But you know, as far as this Kickstarter, so before when I made the Murphy books, I had to find a printer, you know, to get them, and I would foot the bill up front on the hope that I would be able to sell the books later. And that was a long time ago. You know, nowadays you can do things like this crowdfunding thing, this Kickstarter. I mean, it's a really great deal for me because I can say, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you're interested, you know, the idea is in a crowdfunding thing is you get a bunch of people that say, yeah, here,
right,
do this. Get this thing made, so you're not taking all the risk of the overhead cost, and then you give, you know, rewards and stuff for people who donate. So, you know, I mean, I'm really glad that we've met the minimum to get this thing done, the $6,000.
Right.
But the thing is, there's really only 70 people that kicked into this thing. In fact, one gentleman, I'm not gonna name his name, but he pretty much funded this whole thing practically himself. I
mean, but that does speak to, again, how much, you know, maybe it's not getting out there as much as, you know, obviously we all love, but the fact that the people that do get to see it are super passionate about it and love what you're doing. I think it's awesome. I'm trying to pull up, I have another image here that I'm trying to pull up just so people can see this oh my god, it's it's breathtaking is what it is. Let's see if I can get this. I swear to God I can. All right, here we go. just again another image of there's gonna be a delay if you're looking back there. But let's see. There's more. I mean, again, I can't keep up with the people that are typing here. Again, you're getting a lot of "you're awesome," lots of hearts. Derwin says being lucky. Excuse me. Being lucky enough to read the Harlem Hellfighters on the Patreon page. So you got a fan here. It's freaking awesome. It's gripping and gory and sad and unforgiving. I cannot wait to buy it in paperback. And more kudos for trying to do your research and bringing it. Let's see what else we got here. There you got this art shows a lot of emotion. People again, you're connecting with it. Oh, by the way, U.S. official U.S. Army WTF Moments commented, "You're not stealing. We love you. We are flattered that you're coming to us." So there you go. You've got the blessing. You've been, you were given the go ahead, the green light. You've been blessed. You are you're fully baptized in the way of WTF. You can take as you need.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate all the kind words.
Yeah, it is absolutely amazing. Like I said, there, it's wow. Like I said, a lot of emotion. Captain Wayne says his phone is almost completely dead, but he will not stop watching us until it dies. So you see, this is the way you make people feel. So I think that's an awesome thing. Nicole says a new crowd fund on Facebook is called wedund.com and gets a lot of traffic. I've invested there before. Okay. I don't know what that is. wedund.com. I guess she's recommending another place to crowdfund on Facebook. All right, we'll look into it. Incredible art. Graphic novels are niche genres, and they're super cool right now, especially if you have something no one else has copied yet. So yeah, there's tons of great feedback. So questions. My head's flooded with questions, and I wanna again, guys, if you got questions, put them in, because I don't want to take up. I don't want to be selfish and only get my questions answered. So if you guys got questions, so you've done a lot of collaborations with other what we call the mill tunists, in the mill tune community, with G.I. Low, which we've had on here and we love, and I know Scuttlebutt Comics. Is there anyone that you're working with in the future? Is there something we can expect, or is there maybe someone that you would, who do you want to work with? I'll make it happen, damn it. I will make it happen. Who do you want to work with?
Any of them, all of them. I'm always collaborating with Pete Barlow, who does G.I. Low. All the other Miltonists, I think they're great, and I love doing the crossovers. I think it's just a cool thing to do, and they're all really good cartoonists. I mean, most of them are still active duty.
Right.
Some are not like me; they're done. But I don't know. I think it's a cool thing to do. I think it's a cool endeavor. Especially while you're still active duty, to produce a comic, and if there's anything I can do to help promote that even more for anybody that's doing that, I'm on board. Absolutely.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I don't care what they'll say, but I can't imagine that there is a military cartoonist today who's doing it that you didn't have a hand in inspiring them. I've spoken to the guy, Pete Barlow behind G.I. Low, and they will all credit with seeing Private Murphy, and they will all credit with saying that, like, once I saw that was a thing that could be done, that got me, going in this direction. So, you have had a hand in influencing so many people out there, whether through just reading it or reading it and then inspiring them to continue doing that work. So, not a lot of people can say that. That's an incredible honor. And obviously, like I said, we're all fans. Captain Wayne says, "What's your favorite Private Murphy comic that you've made?"
Someone just asked me this the other day too, and it's funny because normally when I'm done doing a cartoon, because sometimes I just think I'm so clever, right? Like, oh, that's a really clever cartoon, and so I'll be really excited about a cartoon I just finished, and then I'll post it or I'll whatever, and then I'll look at it about 3 days later and I'll think, that's the lamest shit I've ever seen, and I'll be embarrassed. But I mean, I don't know why that is. I mean, at first I love it, and then I hate it 2 days later. But I think probably, I don't know, like off the top of my head, my favorite cartoon I've done is where it's like a 6 or 8 panel. I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's Murphy going to sick call, and I wish I had it ready to show it to you, but that would that would be, I think, my favorite off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's a test of time somewhat.
Right. We got Kaz, one of our radio brethren, says it's so cool actually getting to see you, Mark, because in my mind you've always come off as a scrappy 20-year-old. So there you go.
I'm old as the hills. I know there's people that know if they're seeing me right now, they're like, "Damn, man, you got old."
Hey, I mean, we're all there, man. We're all there. I know people that comment on the gray that I got going. So, oh, and sorry, Nicole had said it was WeFund.com. Funder? WeFunder. I don't know. We'll talk offline. We'll see if there's something we can do. Make a Murphy. Nicole says you have to make a Murphy where he has a shaving profile. I don't know. I can't recall. I think there's been a few, right, where he had like a beard or something, right? There's been a few where he had he was on leave or something.
Actually, I think there is, way back in the archives, there is a Murphy with shaving profile.
See, there you go. It's been done. Wallbreaker wants to know any thoughts on doing a collab with Black Rifle Coffee. You could put a comic right on the side of the bag. Hey, you want to do a coffee thing, right?
Yeah, I'll say. Well, I mean, I got Black Rifle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there it is.
Those guys are great. I got to tell you, they I did. I will throw them into cartoons every now and then. On a coffee cup, or if you're looking, I throw little Easter eggs in there.
Right.
And and they sent me a bunch of coffee and mugs, and stickers. I mean, they gave me a bunch of loot. It was super cool. I had coffee for months.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I mean, we keep going back to these stories where people show their appreciation for what you do, man, and how it has an impact on them. Switching gears. Obviously we alluded to how you've inspired people to follow and draw and create. If there's a person out there listening, if there's a person seeing this, what's your go-to advice for them? What's your, how can they've got this idea, this thing they want to create. What's, you're the creator, you're the guy. What's the advice?
There's a couple things. So nowadays it's a lot easier to, so many people do so many creative things, and you have the internet to do it with. When I started doing this a million years ago, you had to take your print copy and try to get it in front of an editor to get it into a magazine or a newspaper, right? So you had that guardian at the door that either, if you couldn't convince them that your stuff was funny, you were dead in the water. So you don't have that problem anymore, other than, as in, you don't have to convince somebody. You can just post stuff on Facebook or Instagram or there's different platforms, right? But other than that, I will say to anyone that has a creative endeavor, wants to do cartooning or art in general or anything, an old friend of mine, he told me once, because I was doing this back when, I was like a specialist, and I was showing them to friends, and my buddy Rob, he says, yeah, you should really do this, and I was like, no, it's not good, it's not, no one's gonna like it. And he said, Mark, listen, if you wait until you have something perfect, you are never going to publish anything, ever. And and that was a couple of years before I started Private Murphy. And when I did start Private Murphy, I did have those thoughts initially, like, oh man, I can't do this. This guy wants a cartoon every week. I can't do it. This is crap. And then it's like he came into the back of my mind and said, I heard him saying those words to me again, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it, And the thing is, when you put stuff out there, like I said, I like what I do one day, and a couple days later I won't like it. It's the same thing. You don't know. I mean, you really don't know what people are gonna like or not like. You put something out there, and you may get a great response. Other stuff you put out there that you think you've spent a lot of time on, you think it's great, people will shit all over it, So you just don't know. So so do it if that's what you want to do. Put it out there, and don't try not to take the criticism too hard, because listen, I'm glad I'm not like a teenager in this day and age, because it's got to be rough because people put stuff out on the internet, and people look, if I thought kids were cruel back when I was going through grade school, whatever, I mean, it's doubly so, and they can do it from a position of you don't even know who the hell they are, and do this to you. And as a grown man, sometimes some stuff will sting me hard, So I'm just saying, if people have something bad to say, I know it's easy to say it, just don't let it get to you, even though it will. Yeah, and just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody talk you out of it.
Oof. I'm like holding my breath over here. I'm taking that advice to personally. Like, I'm like, hey, I could use that advice. I'm not doing art or obviously we have people talking about aspiring writers in the house. So a lot of people loving the advice and knowing that that it comes from a good place, and me personally, I might clip that advice and just like have it on a loop for me every time where I'm like, my show sucks and nobody likes my show, and I'm feeling all down. That's awesome advice, and it's true. It's so true. Oh man, I'm like, again.
I mean, you're a brave guy doing this. I mean, you're doing. I need to watch your show more often. I always have like the good intention, like, hey, when's Mike's quarter on, and then I'll get on there and I'm like, is this live? No, it's over. You missed it. But you do this, and I can tell you, I'm
No.
I'm proud of you.
Don't start. Don't start. I'll start crying right here on air, live in front of everybody. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, you I mean, yeah, again, I can't keep up with all the chats as they're happening. People are really digging this. Question from Wallbreaker. How hard is it to get published? And I know you kind of talked a little bit about that there's these gatekeepers, in the different avenues that you've tried. I'm sure we've talked in the past that you've tried a lot of different avenues for getting published. Can you give a little insight for some of the people out there that maybe that's something they're thinking about?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me save you some time and money. Okay. Hopefully save you some time and money, because every lesson I learned the hard way, and there was no look, just like this. Okay, so if you're looking to get published, I mean, there are publishers out there, like if you want to do a book or whatever, but there's a lot of companies that say, well, we're a publisher, and really all they are is a printer. Okay, but they'll say, hey, look, you give us your idea, we'll format it, we'll do this, that, and the other for you, and we'll produce this book for you. But what they don't do for you is distribute it. Okay, they'll print you a book, and then you're going to pay for it. You pay for the printing, and then they ship the book to you, and then you have boxes of books in your garage or whatever, and it's on you to sell. So really, what you want to look for is a book distributor, because book distributor, not only do they have people that print books for, I mean, they have the line in on all of that. So you find a book distributor, and you go to them with your idea, and sometimes they will take your book and they'll print it and distribute it, or you can find a printer and then you sell it to them, wholesale, and then they distribute it. But the distribution is the important part. And I know that's like easy to say, and I don't know a whole bunch of book distributors, but the one book distributor that I went through was a place called Byrd Enterprise, BYRD. They're still around. They're based in Virginia. I don't know if they're doing the same volume of business they were before, but yeah, book distributor, not a publisher. I mean, a publisher can work for you if you're, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they can or not. I mean, I think you need to really get into like a real publisher that's going to distribute, you need a literary agent that does that.
Right.
I mean, other than if you have a grassroots thing that you do through Amazon that gets a bunch of following, I just think it's very hard to get published without a literary agent that goes to a publisher that has distribution.
Sure.
But if you can't find a book distributor, like, I mean, that's the only one I know of, Byrd, but there's plenty of others, right? Like, if you go to the bookstore and you can look in there and see who distributes that book. So the other thing is, what I did is I did contact this distributor, and they never got back to me. But I got some really sound advice from another soldier, Ranger Rick Tishern. So he used to do these little books called Ranger Digest, right? And they were in all the clothing sales stores. And I contacted him. I said, "Hey, how'd you do this?" And he gave me a step-by-step. This is what you do. He said, "Take your books and you go down to this place." He told me about Byrd. Go there and give them 50 books and say, "Look, here are 50 books free of charge. If they sell, here's my number." So, and that's a way in. If you already have your book printed, you go to a distributor, you say, here's what I've got. If it sells, cool. If it doesn't,
send it back to me.
Yeah, I mean, I said keep them or whatever, but I mean, it's a method to get in. But I mean, so that's like to get your foot in the door. But also, that was back in a day where there was no internet. So now you can do print on demand through Amazon. But I got to tell you, that print on demand through Amazon, it's like if you want to get any type of profit out there whatsoever, it makes the cost of the book so high. I mean, these Charlie Michaels I have print on demand, I make a dime per each one that's sold. And they're like what? They're like $6.65 for a book. Yeah. I don't want people to pay that much for one of my comic books, and also I don't want to make just a dime off of each. Right. So it's a hard road to go.
Yeah, I mean it's the business aspect of it. I know, like I have a link that if you want to buy a T-shirt, you go to it, and I set the price point, but I'm like, I'm not going to charge someone $25, $30 for a T-shirt. So the lowest you can go is like $11, and I make like 20 cents profit per T-shirt, and they make the rest, and it's like at that point, I mean, who cares? Like, but that's nothing. This is your hard blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. I just threw your logo on a shirt, and I'm making whatever it is, 20 cents. I don't even sell any, but Ken in the chat says I got copies of Ranger Digests. There you go. That's still out there. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Because I mean, I just thought of this as we were talking about that print on demand with Amazon. So with this Kickstarter that I'm doing with issue number 6 of Charlie Mike. So one, I kind of want to take care of the people that did pitch in to make this possible. And so this is not going to be like the other comics. This will not be available on Amazon print on demand. There's going to be one run, one printing. I'm going to, they're going to be numbered, and that's it.
Nice.
So hopefully by doing that, it kind of makes them more collectible.
Sure.
So people that, it's a one-time shot. I'm not doing them again. It's a one-time run. If you get one of these books, that's it. And the only way you're going to be able to get them is by doing the Kickstarter.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got links to both Kickstarters. Or no, they're coming in multiple chats. We got a link to the Kickstarters there. So I mean, you heard it here first, guys. Special edition, limited edition, collector's item. You gotta have it. You gotta get on there. The only way you're getting it is if you sign up and get it. And just so you know, your information is really changing people, because we got again from Wallbreakers said that thank you for the information. I'm gonna keep that in mind. That's great information about the publishers and about where how to get in. And it really is, as somebody else was saying earlier, the gist of your information is too, you have to bet on yourself. There's a part of it you talked about, getting the books and giving it to the distributor and saying like, hey man, if it sells, you know how to find me. You're betting on yourself. It takes guts. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing for sure. But yeah, there's so many. You're right. There's so many avenues now that can, Kickstarters and GoFundMe's and just your own face. You can turn your Facebook into a business. But oh my god, it's been an hour already. This has been a blast, man. So once again, I want to make sure people know exactly where they can find you. I know you're on Facebook. You've got the Patreon. Do you have Instagram? I know I put up your Twitter handle for Comics Mike. I put it up so people can see it. Is there anywhere else people can find you?
You really can't find me on the Instagram and Twitter. I mean, I am aware of those things, but I so rarely go there. All I really do is I got the Patreon and I got the Facebook. My son let me know the other day, like, Dad, Facebook, that's like boomer city. You're not going to reach the younger crowd unless you do something else. And I just can't, I try Instagram and I'm like, I can't do this from my computer. I have to do this from my phone. I can't do this.
That's what the kids are doing these days. I hate to agree with it. You gotta get yourself like a grandbaby intern that you can like here you just here's the stuff, you throw it up wherever the kids are at these days. Cause yes, say okay, we pinned, I got the information, we pinned the Kickstarter on the page so that people can see it. Mark, I mean, it's always great getting to catch up with you, man. I'm so happy when we get to chat. The people, if nothing else, first of all, everybody, if you're watching this, for God's sake, what's wrong with you? Go get one of the books. Join the rest of us who have them in our collection. Okay, get the book. Support an awesome friend of the show. I'm sure our paths are going to cross many more times in the future. And we were working on something back in the day. I've shelved it, much like you do. You know how these things work. It's gonna happen. I'm working the idea. So one day, me and you will discuss that.
You and I.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. No. I got.
All right. Something you're gonna let me know about in the future.
Yeah. You did some artwork for me back then. We were working on we had an idea. We were gonna do some stuff. It was a long time ago. We'll circle back. I got you. But yes. So guys, everybody, once again, this has been Mark Baker. He's phenomenal. Obviously, we all love Private Murphy. Check out the Charlie Mike comics. They're awesome. His Kickstarter for the Harlem Hellfighters. That's a tongue twister, man. The Harlem Hellfighters is up there. Get yourselves a copy. We love you to death, man. Guys, we're gonna take a short break. When we get back, Radar will be back and we'll do more show. Once again, my guest, Mark Baker. You're awesome. We'll be right back.
Thanks, Mike.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
Right here, right now. I'm better without you. You're always on my mind. Right here, right now. I'm better without you. Nothing's worth some time. But right now, I know that I'm better on my own.
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
What is up, guys? Oh, man. That was absolutely fantabulous. Mr. Radar, welcome back.
What's up?
That was Mark Baker, man. How awesome is that?
That was great. That was fucking awesome.
Oh, man, I love that guy so much. He's awesome. I really
yes,
do.
Absolutely.
It's so silly to say, but go back to 2003, find Private CQ and tell him, like, hey, you know that comic strip you love? Like, one day you'll be able to say, like, he's a friend. He's a buddy. He's a fellow creator, and he's a guy that, as much as you admire and respect, like, you're cool with him. And you're crazy. I tell you, you're crazy. That's
right. I'm just happy he's like, bye, Radar. I'm like, oh, bye to you. Hey, he talked to me too.
Mike, hey, we see you in the chats, man. Just pledged your copy, dude. You're awesome. You're absolutely awesome. It really couldn't go to a more deserving guy. I can promise you that much. I got literally a couple stories real quick. Just because we didn't get to wrap up what we were talking about prior to the break because Radar just kind of like
Hydra. All right then.
mutants and Hydra.
Yeah. And then fucking Nicole's got my back. She's all like, yeah, we're gonna get all this shit. We're gonna make it all one big fucking cinematic galaxy.
That's right. Okay, so we talked about Doc Ock. The one last thing I wanted to cover for this week that's kind of big news is it is official, okay? We talked about this a while ago. It was rumored. It was speculated. They even had this artwork to tease it. We talked about Michael Keaton reprising his role as the 1989 Batman in the upcoming Flash movie. Now, my heart was broken when about a week or two ago I read an interview with Michael Keaton who said, yes, they came to me about it. No, I haven't decided. No, I haven't signed on. He goes, given the current state, they're filming this in the UK. COVID is still a real thing. And he said, like, I have to, I'm an older guy. I have to do what's right. Well, I can confirm as of today, Michael Keaton has officially signed on to be Batman once again, the 1989 Batman in the upcoming Flash movie. It is happening. This is real. And in that movie, we also have Ben Affleck returning as Batman. So we're going to double dip Batman. I don't know if it's just the latest thing. Let's just start fucking with our multiverse, right? We can bring in all the Spider-Mans together. We're going to bring all the Batmans together. Fucking bring in Christian Bale.
Jack Nicholson's going to be there as the Joker again. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Let's do it, man. Bring in the Bale, Christian Bale. Fucking bring in Kevin Conroy, the voice from the animated series. I mean, just bring in all the Batmans.
No, this is like having all the fucking all the 007s and all the James Bonds in one movie, dude. It's too much, man. It's too much for old Radar. Like,
there's rumor there'll even be Grant Gustin's Flash. There's rumors that like the Flashes will cross the streams, the Speed Forces at some point. So yeah. So it's official. It is official. He hasn't played Batman since the second Batman movie back in 1992. What you giggling at?
Oh, Captain Wayne? But do they need Depends? Pratt, the fucking rubber suit. He's fine.
I mean,
he's gonna hang out in there.
It seals in all the flavor. It seals in the flavor. Oh man, it's a great
like
series.
crime in a rubber suit.
Yeah, like crime in a rubber really seals in the flavor. Which, by the way, screw Pete Holmes because they tried to get him on the show.
That's the Batman. That right there, that's the Batman they need to have in this fucking movie.
Where are the drugs? Oh man, those are good.
Dent, can we trust him? Yes.
Guys, if you don't know, man, College Humor did this whole thing. It was Pete Holmes dressed as Batman doing just the most ridiculous stuff. It's hilarious. I highly recommend it. When he beats up the clown because he thinks it's the Joker. He's kind of like, I kind of had an idea it wasn't the right guy, but I was committed to it. Oh man, they're so good.
Yes, please, why don't they put that guy in there?
I don't. Well,
he's probably not as geriatric as fucking Michael Keaton is.
Yeah. Wahlberger says, anyone seen the new?
He needs to fucking voice that too, Mark. I watched a thing on Mark. Did you watch that too?
I don't think so.
They did like an interview with him not too long ago, and like I didn't realize how much stuff he actually did voiceover.
He's done so much. He's done so much. Yeah.
And like, and I never equated it. And then like he would do some of the voices, and he did like one of the Batmans and whatever. Fucking, and then he would do it, and I'm like, holy shit, that's you. Like
it's
you. Just weird how you fell into that character and like in and out of the character so easily. That was crazy.
Yep.
So
sorry, that's that one. No, that was that. I do have. Let's see. Actually, wait. Do you hear that? Do you hear that?
Hear what? Anything? I hear you.
What is it? Is it? Could that mean what I think it means?
What does it mean? I can't hear it.
Oh, you don't hear the cat cry? Is
No.
the cat sounds? Oh no. Well, the audience can.
All right.
That can only mean one thing. I've got some Tiger King news. Are you ready?
Tiger King's gonna be on the next Batman.
Tiger King has been confirmed for the next Batman movie. No, he's going to be in Spider-Man. He's playing Kraven the Hunter, played by Joe Exotic. God damn it. I lost my place. Where are my notes? Just because that's so funny. Here, let me switch over to WTF News. Because what the fuck? So, we've got an official. Remember, they were talking about remember we were talking about whatever happened to the Hollywood remake of the Joe Exotic story. Remember, they're doing like a comedy one, and then they were going to do like a serious one, and they were going to do a bunch of them. Well, it's the NBC Universal series, which is going to feature what was her name, Kate McKinnon as Carol Baskin, which I think that's going to be hilarious. They have found the actor who will play Joe Exotic. Ladies and gentlemen, John Cameron Mitchell is set to play Joe Exotic in the NBC Universal series. He's best known for his roles on The Good Fight and Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and will play the role of Joe Exotic Shravglobal. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's last name. Yeah.
I'm gonna say this,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm bald right now, but I think if you gave me a mullet wig, I could just about pull it off.
I mean, I'm not saying not, but
I wonder. I think this is what I'll do is next time I shave, I'll shave a Joe Exotic mustache. Let me know.
Joe
And it's about that
Exotic
time.
for Halloween,
It's
man.
it's almost summertime. I usually like to shave for summer.
Joe Exotic for Halloween, man. You got to do it. Got to do it.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Now he can't be Joe Exotic because he's getting ready to be mayor of Texas, governor of Texas.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but now
also he's way
I
too
think
good
I
looking.
can pull it off. I mean, give me some tigers and meth.
Give me a couple tigers, a little bit of meth. I think I can pull it off. So Mitchell said, I'm thrilled to take on the role of this modern folk anti-hero. Joe and I are the same age, and like him, I grew up queer in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So I feel like I know a little bit about the guy and his desperate attempt to conquer an inhospitable world. I don't think Joe Exotic knows the word inhospitable. So
No, that is well beyond the Joe Exotic vocabulary.
that bitch Carol Baskins. So Mitchell currently appears on the Hulu comedy series Shrill and will be seen in Netflix's Sandman. He has a musical podcast series called Anthem Homunculus. Again, a word I don't think he would know. And as previously announced, the limited series will also star Kate McKinnon as that bitch Carol Baskin.
That'd be the one I think would be hard to cast because nobody wants to be the fucking bad guy.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I mean, some people have more fun playing the bad guy.
That's true. I
I
guess.
think-
But,
I think
mean,
Carol-
with
I
Carol
think-
Baskin, there is not a soul on this planet that thinks that bitch didn't murder her husband and is walk around scot free, right?
I think Kate McKinnon's gonna have a blast playing that role. I think she's gonna go like to 10, like she's gonna turn it up to 11, to play that role. So what else? So like obviously the series is based on the series is not based actually on the Netflix show, but on the podcast Joe Exotic that's hosted and reported by Robert Moore. There's a lot more stuff that it talks about that was never seen on the Netflix show. So we're gonna see some other facets of it. Now we still don't have a production date or a premiere date or anything like that. So my question is, when it eventually comes out, let's say they go to production next week, and in 4 months, which is fast, we get the Joe Exotic series. Is it too late? Has it passed? Has it jumped the shark?
Part of it. I think part of it's passed. Okay, and hear me out on this one. I think it's kind of become part of our culture. right? Because I mean, it kind of reminds us of a simpler time. Okay, and it reminds me of like, remember when we first went into quarantine, and and it was like first stimulus check, and like Tiger King fucking part of quarantine. Remember that part? And we were still
Oh,
we were still
God.
so young and full of hope.
The good
And
part
they're
of
like
quarantine.
30 days to flatten the curve, and here it is like a year later. We're like, where's this curve at? Right?
Oh man, we're looking forward to season
So I,
2 of
I
Tiger
think, but it
King.
represents that. I mean, like that's why people like okay, like Captain America, right? In the comics, like he represented certain things to
Sure.
certain people, right?
Sure.
To us, Joe Exotic represents that hope of the pre-Rona beginnings of it kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, like when you first get to boot camp, right? You're on the bus, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be a fucking soldier, blah blah. And then you find out how shitty life actually is. He's like the bus pulling up before the drill sergeant gets on the bus.
Oh,
That's what
man.
he is. That's the point of our lives. And we had that as a commonality. The whole world was stuck with nothing but Joe Exotic and a $1,200 stimulus check.
Yeah.
That's it.
A
That's all we had.
simpler time. We had
had
lots
that.
of
We had-
lots of
we
free
had Joe
time.
Exotic, $1,200 of stimulus check and each other. And that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
that's what he represents. And
The-
homeschooling. And
the
all
world
of the
wasn't
things.
burning around us. Yeah.
Yes. Now the world's just like literally burning. I don't even know. Like we had that. I don't even want to talk politics at all, but we had like a little ruling today for a cop who killed a dude,
Yeah.
right? And I don't even want to know all that. But this is before all that. Joe Exotic represented that simple time.
The,
Kinda
ha-
like,
the
he's
happy
like the
quarantine
house on the
time.
prairie. He was like the little house on the prairie of coronavirus.
Oh my god! It was the happy part of quarantine, the happy times.
Yeah, the simple happy times.
But by the way, I just have to point out, Nicole, if you're still in the chats, Nicole Lines, she put out a comment that I just love so much. We were doing the interview with Mark, and I want to stitch this on a pillow. Like that. The comment was like, it's all about the 3 Fs. If they're not feeding you, fucking you, or financing you, fuck them. I want to make it the 4 Fs now, right? If they're not feeding you, fucking you, or financing you, fuck them. I want that hand stitched into a pillow, or embroidered on like one of those things you hang. No fussing, no mussing. You put that on your wall. I want that. I like that. I might put that on a T-shirt. Pop Culture Warrior. If they're not feeding you, fucking you, or financing you, fuck them. So
that's right.
Right on, Nicole. That was outstanding.
But now, okay, we're gonna go back to Tiger King for a minute.
Yes. I just didn't want to forget that, but yeah, go ahead.
No, that's fantastic. What if they're providing you with meth and tigers? It's not really financing you. I don't know if I really want him fucking me, but I really want some meth. Maybe not meth.
I mean, in a way, that's kind of financing you.
Maybe.
Trademark Nicole Lyons, Esquire, Joe Exotic Representative LLC. All right. Apparently it's locked up. I don't want to get in. I don't want any legal trouble. I don't want to go to court.
We're gonna get zucked.
I'm not trying to. Scott says that should be Marty's motto. I'm gonna put that on the base of the Pop Culture Warrior little dude. Hold on, let me see if I can.
He spins around the back.
Yeah.
You gotta have it on the back.
Well, pull him up. I want that. Oh shit! Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. I want that on the base. I'm gonna put that on the base of the thing as it rotates. PCW. If they're not fucking you, feeding you, or financing you, fuck them. That's gonna be on the base of there.
Everyone serious who wants to be on our show, it's like, no, these guys are idiots.
Yeah, these guys are definitely.
How about I just play the idiot role? That's fine. I've done that for over 40 years.
You don't get to monopolize that. So, all right, guys. We've
I was
come
gonna start dressing like Joe Exotic on this show, like in my little bubble. I was gonna get that shirt he was wearing.
You got to get yourself a stuffed tiger and be like, no, goddamn it, no, damn. Start just smacking the shit out of him. Get off of me. Ooh, cool. We got just in. We got another confirmation of a of a guest that I'm gonna be super excited to talk to. Like
Joe Exotic, live from his prison cell. Joe
live
Exotic.
from Zen Penitentiary, Joe Exotic. No, much better. We'll talk about that another time. Radar.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the fine folks at home
Where the generals keep their armies
where the generals keep? Yes.
in their sleeveys.
Basically, and let them know not just what shows we have coming up, but who they can expect on those shows. I sent you a message on Messenger. Just pull up the message. God damn it! Just you had one job.
Radar. That's not my job.
You
That's
have
not
one job, Radar. God,
that's literally
damn
not
it.
my job. That's literally not. I tell them the order and the shows that are coming up. You tell them who the guests are going to be. That's literally your job. My job is to tell them what's. I'll go. Let me do my spiel.
Yeah.
And then I'll do your spiel that you're supposed to do, but I'll just do it anyway. So you have been listening tonight. 420. Okay. April 20th, 2021. You listen to Pop Culture Warrior. We had Mark Baker, the cartoonist who have created Private Murphy and hold something dear to our hearts. Okay. Tomorrow night, Donza, Wednesday, day off. We ain't going to be here. Okay. Thursday, Ice, Spanky, Sergeants. Sergeant's time, sergeanting, all things Big Army, National Guard Reserve, retirees, all the things. Okay. Friday, day off. Donza, we're not going to be here. No, we will. Oh, what am I doing? God, I thought it was like my first day. Friday, we got Friday Night Freedom with Kaz and Pookie.
I think Friday Night Freedom's on a temporary hiatus. I think he's got called away he's on business.
He's got to work. He's got to save the world.
Gotta save the world, man.
But anyway, normally it'd be Friday Night Freedom. Saturday, Sunday, weekend off, Donza. No days. I mean, it's a weekend. Not this crappy Super Bowl show either. Monday night, you come back for the Monday edition with Ice and Flash. Current events, great show. They have a guest, which I will get into in a minute. Now, if you listen to them on Monday, the next night is Tuesday, which is our night, Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and Radar. Okay? Now, go through some things. We have some upcoming guests. Okay? 24th of April, Thursday, with Joshua Maria. He's a host and creator of the Extra Duty podcast, which features talks with real soldiers dealing with real problems through open discussion. Then on the 26th of April, Monday, Jason Johnson, the founder of Project K9 Hero, will be on the Monday edition, talk about what they do for retired canines once they are finished serving their positions. He will also be on to talk about upcoming Dog Hero Awards in November of 2021. Then on the 27th of April, which is Tuesday, which is our show, Pop Culture Warrior, on 27th of April, will be Eddie McClintock. Actor Eddie McClintock will be on Pop Culture Warrior, talk about his acting career and what he has coming up. He's known for his work in The Sweetest Thing, Supergirl, and The Warehouse 13. He will be on with CQ and I on the 27th of April. And that is all we have for guests coming up through the next week.
Yes. And now I will jump ahead, guys. If I can just tease a little bit. We talked about this earlier, but for those of you that weren't here, for those of you who are still here, thank you, God. May the 4th be with you. We got Colin Mockery from Whose Line It Is Anyway gonna be here. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
In 3 weeks, we got comedian Seth Herzog. He was been on the show or technically I was on his show, but this time he's coming here. We're crossing the streams. He's gonna be here. That's gonna be a special edition because we'll do the interview at 8 p.m. Eastern and then do our normal hour at the 9 p.m. Eastern because he has a live show at 9 p.m. So he's gonna come do our show at 8 p.m. and then jump over to his show at 9 p.m. It's gonna be craziness. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Maybe we make that day the second hour. We'll play games. instead of going over news. We'll just play some games.
Yeah, because it's really awkward for me sometimes when you do things like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm not funny. I'm not good. And then you bring on people who are like funny and good and interesting, and I have to try to follow that act up, and that doesn't work very good because I'm dumb.
Moving on. 3 weeks from now, May the 18th, we've got the creator of How I Met Your Mother, Carter Bays. This guy is awesome. You're going to love this interview. I promise it. I promise it. The week after that, May the 25th, Pedro himself from Napoleon Dynamite, Efren Ramirez. This dude is awesome. He's going to be on the show. What do we got after that? I think I'm taking a week off just because, I need a break. June 7th, or I'm sorry, June 8th, we've got a special guest. I'm going to leave that one up because we're going to be teasing some stuff about that soon. And then the one I'm really excited about. It's not going to happen for a little bit, but July, hang in with me. And again, these dates are tentative. Things can happen. Things can change. Bear with us. But July the 13th, Keith David. You guys might not know the name, but you know who he is. If you grew up watching Gargoyles, the cartoon, he was the voice of Goliath. He's played so many different military members in different things. He was, oh my God, I literally my brain explodes. He was in Something About Mary. He was in the TV show Enlisted. So many things. You know who I'm talking about.
I love that guy.
He's been in so many things. So many things. He's done TV. He's done movies. He's a voice actor. Like I said, Goliath from the Gargoyles. He played the commander in the Halo series. He was the Black Commander. He's been in so much stuff. The dude is phenomenal. He is the voice. Like, you hear that voice, you know who he is. There's no mistake in that voice.
And if you look, his IMDb is like 7 pages long.
Yeah, dude, the guy's been in hundreds of things. And listen, this is what's so cool. He's currently filming something for Netflix. And he's gonna take the time out to try and join us live right here. Worst case, if things shift because of work, we're gonna pre-record the interview and then we'll play it for you guys live. But he really wants to come on the show and talk to you all live. So that's gonna be a huge surprise or cool thing. It's Keith Davis.
He was in like Armageddon.
I always say the name wrong.
God, he's been in so much.
He's been in so many things. He's been in so many things. So yeah, it's gonna be. I'm really. You sent me he might be on with us.
Yep. And I said, oh God, and I was like, that name sounds really familiar. And I saw the first picture. I was like, yes. And I showed my wife, and I'm like, he's gonna be on with us. And my wife's like, really? Why would he talk to you guys? I was like, because we're big time now. Big time.
Yeah. So like I said, and I'm only telling you guys about people who we've officially booked and given a date. It's the tip of the iceberg. I promise you. There are some people that are going to blow your minds. Blow your minds. People who might be currently filming stuff for Disney Plus. People who might currently be in production. People who might have big budget movies coming out soon. I won't say because we don't have that, but guys, I gotta give you the tip. I just gotta give you the tip. That's it, just the tip. But you got it. You got the tip. All right, guys, this has been a blast as always. For my boy Radar here, CQ, Pop Culture Warrior. You guys are awesome. Please like the Facebook page so we can hit 750 and I can mail out a giant box of goodies for somebody. Thank you guys as always, and we'll see you. We'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Radar.
Ah, see you.
Supposed to say goodbye, Radar.
Bye, Radar.
Shots, guys. See you
Love
next
you.
week.
You